Hey guys, this is Sean Riley with Riley Real Estate and MassHomesale.com. Welcome back for this week's Q&A Saturday video. This week we're going to answer the question, why should I sell my house as is? So selling a house as is just means the seller is saying they're not going to be doing any repairs to the house as part of the sale. This is typically thought of for places that actually need a lot of work, but it could also be for places that have just been redone and the seller just doesn't want to be nickeled and dimed over like very minor things. Now, for the purposes of the video, we are going to assume that the place does need a lot of work and the seller is just unwilling or maybe unable to make a lot of the repairs to the place. So what are some of the advantages of selling as is? So first off is not price. You pretty much guarantee you're going to get a lower selling price than if you did a lot of work before putting it on the market. That's just fairly obvious. Now, however, that does not necessarily mean you're going to get less money in your pocket. This is because one of the biggest reasons to sell as is that home renovations are very expensive. Doing home renovations can be really expensive, and you don't necessarily recoup all of the costs when you go to sell, even with a higher price. We've written several articles on the blog detailing the costs and benefits of doing different projects, and the major theme across all of those is that you pretty much don't get your full investment back when you sell after doing these projects. On average, like some you'll do better, some you'll do worse, but on average you don't even get your full investment back. So, besides the fact that it might not be a great investment of money, you might want to sell as is just because you just don't have the money to make the repairs. Depending on what you need to do, the bills can be staggering. Some things might be fairly easy and only cost a few $100, but then some projects can cost tens of thousands of dollars each. So in addition to the monetary aspects, there is convenience. So, of course, it's always easier not to do something, but renovations can be especially tough if you or somebody else is living in the house at the time. Living in construction zone can be really tough and not fun at all. It usually will make the work take longer as well, as the times that work can happen is more limited, and the house has to more or less stay in livable condition at all times. Obviously there might be short periods where that's not the case, but in a vacant house you can have the power off or the water off or the heat off or something for an extended period of time as you can when somebody needs to be living there at the end of the day every day. Now another major disadvantage of selling as is would be that you have a smaller buyer pool. Less people want to do work on a place, and even those that are willing to might be a lot harder for the buyer to be able to get a loan on it. Your buyer pool is going to be limited to cash buyers that don't need to have financing at all, buyers that need construction loans such as a FHA 203K loan, or investors who would buy with cash or with private financing that doesn't have the same kind of requirements that a bank would for the condition of the property. Excuse me. So now again, the glass half full aspect of working with cash buyers investors is that the offer can usually close a lot faster and smoother than when you have a bank involved. A typical bank will ask for a lot of things, and the process can drag out for 6+ weeks usually in these days. So that's a brief overview of why one would want to sell their house as is. As mentioned, we do have several articles going into the advantages and disadvantages of doing different home renovation projects, and one's talking more in depth specifically about the advantages of selling as is. And if you're on the blog, I'm going to link to all of those below. Thanks again for tuning in, and if you have a question you want answered, leave a comment below, post it on our Facebook page or Twitter account, or send an email to info@masshomesale.com. Alright guys, thanks again, and we'll see you at next week's video. Bye.